Hello my amazing friends, how are you guys doing today? My name is Mackenzie and welcome to the channel. So today's video I want to talk about why I moved to Amsterdam because, well, first of all, I'm getting a lot of views on my Hawaii video. I'm getting a lot of questions about Hawaii, which I don't live there anymore. I live in Amsterdam now in the Netherlands. Been here for a little bit of time now. Kind of wanted to talk to you guys about why I moved to Amsterdam, if any of you guys are thinking about moving to Amsterdam as well. Hopefully this video helps you make a nice decision. I know things are not moving right now in terms of travel, but it doesn't mean that in the future amazing things can't happen. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I feel like the timeline is a little bit unclear, and maybe I haven't been super transparent about this, but I moved from, I was living in Los Angeles, or not Los Angeles, I was living in Ventura, which is like an hour and a half north of Los Angeles, and I lived there for a little while. I loved it. I love Southern California. It's great, and I do miss it sometimes because the weather was beautiful and year round it was always so nice, and I really enjoyed that. But after I moved from Ventura, or around Los Angeles, I moved to Hawaii for a couple of months, and when I was in Hawaii I just felt a bit, I don't know, not super great. Like, I love Hawaii. It's such a beautiful place. It was a great place for me to heal because at that time just things were just shifting a lot in my life, but it just didn't end up working out, and I ended up going back home for a little bit, and then I moved around Europe for a little bit, and then I ended up settling in Berlin, and I stayed in Berlin for almost 2 years. It was a really good time. I'm so happy that I made that journey, and I always had a dream of living in Europe, and I never ever thought that it could be possible, and when I found out that it was possible, I took the chance. And so yeah, I moved to Berlin. Berlin was super great for that time of my life. I think super, it sounds funny, but like hipster, and I'm super into techno music, so there's all types of clubs that played amazing music every weekend, all weekend. That was a really great time in my life, and I was also freelancing at that time, so I was working for myself, and I was just really enjoying that time in my life. If you guys didn't already know, my partner is Dutch. He loved Berlin as well. I'm so happy that I met him in Berlin because we just had like the best time when we were there, especially summer of 2018. Like, that was probably one of the best summers of my whole life. So we had met people there that made our time there so much fun. We had a group of friends, and they ended up leaving actually because they were also students, and so they ended up leaving, going back to their country where they were originally from. I also was feeling a bit worn down from Berlin. Berlin was, yeah, it's just a big city. And actually it's really interesting because I don't know if you guys know Jenny Mustard. I'm sure you do. She makes a lot of minimalism videos, but she also lived in Berlin, and I remember I was still living in Berlin at that time when she decided to move to London, and she said that Berlin is just kind of an unfriendly city. She just said that, and I just remember thinking, that's so true. You know, I feel myself becoming unfriendlier. I'm feeling so worn down from this like lack of positive energy around me, and maybe that was just sort of the time in my life because I also was suffering from depression and anxiety, and it was starting to take a little bit of a downturn in my life. And that's also when I stopped making videos. I took a break from making videos for about a year. Yeah, I don't know, I just had this sort of feeling that maybe I don't want to stay in Berlin. It sounds really bad, but I just also didn't have so much interest in learning German. I don't know, it just seemed like a very hard language, and I also wasn't so invested in staying in Berlin forever, and so I felt like, yeah, I don't know, I didn't have so much interest in learning German. But Dutch, on the other hand, I definitely had so much interest, and you know, I always was interested in Dutch culture because my partner is Dutch, and he would tell me, you know, different types of cultural things. I would come to the Netherlands every so often, and I just loved the vibe here. I loved the colorfulness, the friendliness, yeah, the culture here. And you know, in the Netherlands, everything is so cute and so small. The country is so small. Everything is just really cute, and even like the language, like maybe Dutch sounds super harsh, but even on like the product packaging, if you start to learn a little bit of Dutch, the product packaging is worded all cute and everything. And I don't know, I just was sort of starting to become drawn to maybe moving to the Netherlands, and my partner was as well struggling with maybe wanting to come back to his home country. A little while to decide, and then I ended up doing a boot camp in UX design in Berlin, and you know, I met a bunch of amazing people, and I was kind of deciding where do I want to take my career, because I knew I didn't want to freelance really anymore. I really wanted to find a company that I could work for, gain some more experience in UX design. So where should I go? What should I do? Should I go to Amsterdam and look for a job there, or should I look for a job in Berlin? My partner and I decided we were going to move to Amsterdam, and I wanted to move to Amsterdam because Amsterdam is a very eclectic city. It's very open to internationals, and that was really important for me because I would look at jobs in Rotterdam and there seemed to be way less of jobs that were in English and also didn't require a advanced level of Dutch. And I am learning Dutch right now, but it takes time to learn a new language. So for me, that was kind of an easy answer, and also for my partner as well. He wanted to move to Amsterdam. So we moved to Amsterdam, and it's also close to his parents and everything. So it just all seemed to flow. And so yeah, I moved to Amsterdam in July and just was looking for a job, and at that time I didn't have a visa, so yeah, it just ended up being on a tourist visa, and then I got my Italian citizenship, so it all ended up working out in the end. But those are some of the reasons why I moved to Amsterdam. And yeah, I don't know, I'm hoping that this makes sense and that my reasons like make sense to you, because I just feel like I'm kind of rambling in this video, but those are some of the reasons why I did, and I'm loving it. The only thing is, like, the weather sucks a bit. It's definitely different than Southern California, but getting used to it, and you know, I think it's just part of it. And right now it's getting close to summertime, so we have better days than bad days, which is nice because the winter was very gray and very rainy, but that's a very Dutch thing. If you guys are considering move to Amsterdam, I would very much recommend it. The only thing is that it is fairly expensive, so I think it's best to come here with a job or with a solid source of income. Also, housing can be a little bit difficult, so I think it's just something that you might have to first move here and then look for, you know, get some sort of small rental place and then look for a more permanent place. That's what we did. We stayed at my partner's parents for a little bit, and then we ended up finding a short-term rental, and then we found this place, which is a long-term rental. So it just takes time, so don't give up if that's your dream of moving to Amsterdam. I know times are a little bit tough right now in terms of travel, but don't give up on your dreams if that is something that you want to do. But anyways, I love you guys so much. I hope that this video made sense and I wasn't rambling like crazy. If you haven't already, please subscribe below. I'm doing like a massive filming day today, so I'm filming a bunch of videos, and if you have any requests, leave them in the comments below. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah! Bye!